Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mike's DVDs and Blu-rays. I'm kind of excited. I got something really interesting in the mail, delivered from Amazon yesterday. It's a new movie from the Criterion Collection. This movie's been restored, and it's probably been one of my most. I don't want to say it's one of my. I guess it is one of my favorite films. It's The movie is, go ahead and just let the cat out of the bag. It's The Elephant Man by David Lynch. This is the new 4K digital restoration. What I was saying was, I have the previous DVD edition of this, and ever since I was a kid, I've been kind of fascinated with this movie. I saw, I guess I saw it really young, and it's always captured my imagination. It really does take you to England in the 1800s, and it really has a sense of time and place. And I guess that's why it's always been one of my favorite movies. But then, in a way, as a David Lynch fan, I'm not the biggest fan of David Lynch by any means, but I'm definitely somebody who has my, eye on what he's doing from time to time. And maybe I would be categorized as a casual fan, maybe casual to a little bit more of a fan of David Lynch. So I look at Elephant Man as one of his more casual movies, mainstream movie, just because it's probably the most accessible to the audience, the average audience member who's not aware of David Lynch's more avant-garde, more kind of more of experimental art film that he's been known to be, kind of a Lynchian spin that he puts on stuff. He creates a real world of characters and just a sense of terror almost in some of his movies, and which can't be denied. I'm more than a casual fan, but I'm not a die-hard fan, if that makes sense. So anyways, let's get to the movie. The movie came out in 1980. This was the first film by a company started by Mel Brooks, a legendary comedian, filmmaker himself, Mel Brooks, one of my personal favorite all-time people, just who his career is phenomenal. But Mel Brooks and his wife Anne Bancroft, who is an exceptional actress in her own right, they're married, and they started a film company called Brooks Film, and I'm sure they partnered with some other people, but they started Brooks Film, which went on to make a whole bunch of really good movies in the 1980s. And this was their first release, and The Elephant Man, directed by David Lynch. David Lynch was coming off of, I guess, his first feature-length movie, Eraserhead, which garnered a lot of attention, which with its experimental world. Eraserhead is really one of his. You could say that's a David Lynch film. It's a beautiful black and white film. I still need to get it as part of my collection. It's on Criterion Blu-ray. I need to get that. It's on my David Lynch checklist to get one day. I got a couple of other new films from David Lynch also this week. I've kind of had a David Lynch week. It kind of fell short. I didn't get to watch all the movies I wanted to leading up to this release, but I did watch Mulholland Drive right here. I got this during the Criterion July 2020 Barnes & Noble sale. 2001's Mulholland Drive. Beautiful release from Criterion Blu-ray. Stunning movie I could watch 20 times in a row. It's just a movie that just keeps unfolding layers and layers, and you see things that you think you saw, but maybe you didn't see it, and it just opens up this world. He takes you into a world, and it looks like the world that you know, but it's actually something else. And that's kind of what's really cool about David Lynch, in the various topics and stuff that he's done. So, enough of me gabbing. The Elephant Man, let me go over some stuff. This is a really beautiful release. It's in a like a cardboard digipack, I guess you would call it. It's got a nice slipcase. This is the front and back. It's a really nice black and white slipcase. I wanna draw attention to the artist, you fellow YouTuber. I guess I could be associated with uh, Daisuke Peppu, who is a tremendous influential YouTuber, I think, these days. And he drew attention to the artist who's done some of these covers for Criterion and some other boutique label covers here lately. I just want to draw attention to her because it's like I met the person through his show, and it was cool to get to know the artist on the other side of things. So here it is. Sister Hyde designed the artwork you see there, along with some other Criterion art department people, that oversaw it, but essentially it's a black and white look to kind of complement the movie, which is also in black and white, I believe. Am I crazy? Yeah, black and white. So here's the inner body of it. It's got some more photographs of Anthony Hopkins and hey, what's his name? I always forget his name. Was it Freddie? No. Freddie Jones. Now, the cinematographer on The Elephant Man was the phenomenal Freddie Francis, British photographer. He's done a lot of good stuff, and he's a director in his own right, doing some movies like the Gorgon and stuff like that. He did as a director. But beautiful, beautiful black and white photography. I guess that's what captured me as a little kid, seeing this movie that was black and white. I mean, it was like watching a dream of some sort. A dream with historical facts in it, because, the Elephant Man was a real man, played by, or John Merrick was the Elephant Man, but he's played in this movie exceptionally well by John Hurt. Really good performance. It comes with this booklet. It's pretty thick little booklet. It's got some essays, a lot of nice photographers. It's got a lot of photos in here. I guess as a kid, just seeing not only John Hurt as the Elephant Man, seeing him, but also, what captured me about it was, a much younger Anthony Hopkins as the doctor in this movie. I guess, their teaming, their friendship in this movie really, really hooked me as a kid. I really followed along. It was believable, and that's what I liked about this. It's very believable. Another movie that has kind of a believable doctor-patient role, teaming, I guess, in a movie would be Francois Truffaut's 1970 movie, The Wild Child, where he finds a wild boy in the woods and he's trying to teach him and stuff. And the doctor in that movie is played by the director, Francois Truffaut, and it's a very believable teaming, I thought. So, back to 1980, and this Anthony Hopkins. Don't need to go into Anthony Hopkins, how great he is. This was Anthony Hopkins. I believe he had made, a couple years earlier than this, he had made a movie called Magic, where he was a ventriloquist, ventriloquist, you know what I'm saying, with the puppet. Well, anyways, that was a really dark, fascinating movie too, which I don't have, but I do remember it from watching it on television many times. Great movie, scary and stuff. So he was coming off he got some acclaim from that, if I remember right, and I'm sure that really got their attention to casting him in The Elephant Man. Really good role for him. He does it perfect. Some of the stuff featured on here, some of the special edition features. Like I said, it's a new 4K digital restoration. It's got uncompressed stereo soundtrack. Director David Lynch and critic Christine McKenna read from a book called Room to Dream. It's a 2018 book that they both co-authored. It also has archival. I'm assuming that's an audio. That's an audio pick. You can pick that on the audio channels to hear that. There's archival interviews with Lynch and John Hurt, producers Mel Brooks and Jonathan Sanger, director of photography Freddie Francis, still photographer Frank Connor, makeup artist Christopher Tucker. And there's also an audio recording of a 1981 interview and question and answer session with Lynch at the American Film Institute from 1981. There's also The Terrible Elephant Man Revealed, a 2001 documentary about the film. Joseph Merrick, The Real Elephant Man. This is a 2005 program featuring archivist Jonathan Evans. Of course, it has the trailer and some radio spots. It has English subtitles, which, I didn't realize this, but ever since getting DVD and just having to turn on the subtitles and subtitles, it drives my wife crazy. Some people aren't for it, but it's funny, my son picked up on that from an early age, and it helped him to learn to read early. I'm positive of it. He would put on some movies like Disney movies like Cars and Ratatouille and stuff like that, and he would read along with the words, and he could recognize the words and stuff, so it was like, wow. But I still turn on the subtitles when I watch movies in bed, and I'll have it on so I don't disturb my wife and stuff. But it drives her crazy if we watch a movie together. But it's such a good habit. It doesn't distract me from it, because occasionally you might miss a word. If you're watching a movie with thick English accents, you might miss a word or two, so it's there. Anyways, also on here, there's some excerpts from an interview with Lynch from the 2005 edition of the 2005 edition of filmmaker and writer Chris Rodley's book, Lynch on Lynch, and an 1886 letter from the editor of the London Times concerning Merrick by the author Francis Curling Carr-Grome, chairman of the London Hospital. So that's interesting, and that's in the booklet. It's recreation of those things. Really interesting. I mean, such a great book. I mean, look at that. Look at that young picture of David Lynch there. But yeah, it's such a great movie. 1980. It's now 40 years old. It makes me feel old, I guess, because I was 4 or 5 when this came out. I was probably 5 years old when this came out. I probably saw it when I was 7 or 8. I was starting to really discover movies and stuff, especially after we got cable in the 80s, and you had USA Network and TBS, and you had TNT, and you had all these other channels that would show movies but have commercials. But I discovered so many movies that way, for one. But yeah, this is a great release. I just opened it before this and went through it and stuff. I haven't been able to actually watch the movie. I've heard some really good stuff about it so far. So it's definitely one of my best films, favorite films, whatever you want to call it. I hate uh, naming favorites and picking favorites. It's so hard sometimes. So, but it's definitely one of my favorite movies because I can come back to it many times and many times again to watch it and hear it. I mean, John Hurt does such a great performance as John Merrick, the Elephant Man. Just his voice, um, under the sackcloth at some points. So recognizable, the accent he does for John Merrick. And I can't leave this out, the makeup, the special effects, the makeup in creating the Elephant Man with the head and the different parts and stuff, and just the locations, the art direction of the movie, recreating London in 1885, or the 1880s. I'm trying to say, recreating that whole time and place. John Gielgud, I guess he's Sir John Gielgud now. He's also in there as one of the doctors at the hospital. And Bancroft is in it. Wendy Hiller. And I don't want to leave anybody out. But yeah, it's such a great movie. It's kind of cool to revisit David Lynch this week. Which I'm going to move on from The Elephant Man. It's such a great movie. I can't wait to watch it. Go out there and get this if you're interested, even if you're just a casual fan of this movie, because I think this movie is something you will come back to more and more. So it's well worth the purchase. Highly recommend this, or just try to find the movie. There's even an older Paramount DVD out there that was my previous edition of this, and I watched that a lot. So you can get that now, probably $5 or less, more or less. It's on Laserdisc, and it may be on Blu-ray. I think there's some European editions of it on Blu-ray. So it's out there. Just got to find it. Okay, moving along. We're still in David Lynch land. I'm going to move to something that may shock you. I had never seen the Twin Peaks television show or Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. I know that's shocking, and that's why I have to say I'm not a big fan of David Lynch. I'm more of the casual fan, or somewhere in between, because I've missed out on a lot of his movies, and I've missed out totally on Twin Peaks. Back in 1991, 92, whenever it was on TV and stuff, it was so hyped. It was so popular. It was so critically acclaimed and everything that I guess I just didn't want to watch it. I guess I just didn't watch it. Didn't have time. I was watching other movies. I just didn't go into it, even though the cast was to die for. So many good people in the cast, that I missed it. And of course, I missed this movie, Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. This is a Criterion Blu-ray. Criterion Collection has released a Blu-ray of this. I think it came out. This came out in 2017. This is from 1992. It's 135 minutes. And it's basically, it's like a prequel to the television show. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to watch this. I had to get this too. Amazon, I got this, and I got the Elephant Man. And I got one other thing, because this has always been kind of a curiosity to me. It's like, because it's got Kyle MacLachlan in it, who, was in Blue Velvet, which this is also a Criterion Collection release that came out in 2019. This came out. This is beautiful. This is a great release. But let's stay on subject here. He's in this. He's playing a detective. I'm not an expert on this because I haven't watched it. I guess it being so popular I was kind of like, I would kind of shoo away from stuff that was so popular, even if it was music or movies and stuff. And I always wanted to watch the more offbeat, the more the underdog, I guess you could say, the
movies.
underrated stuff. I was going towards that stuff at the time, but I remember it came on ABC, and so basically, takes place in Twin Peaks. There's a murder of a homecoming queen, high schooler, Laura Palmer, and they're basically piecing the clues together to try to find out what happened and stuff. So I'm not sure if this leads into the TV show or if this wraps up everything. I'm being a complete mystery about this. I haven't done any homework on it. Came out in 92. That's all I know about it. I just know little things, some people that were in it. I've seen tons of pictures, little scenes from it and stuff, but I've never seen the movie or the TV show. So, and I haven't done any research on it. So it's really going to be brand new to me watching this. So on here, this is also a new restored 4K transfer. It's got a new 7.1 surround DTS audio soundtrack, which was supervised by David Lynch. It's got an alternate 2.0 surround DTS mix soundtrack. It's got the missing pieces, which is 90 minutes of deleted and alternate takes from the movie. It's got interviews from 2014 with David Lynch and actors Cheryl Lee, Way Ray Wise, and Gabrielle Zabrinsky. New interviews with Lee, I guess that would be Cheryl Lee, and composer Angelo Badalamenti. I forget. I know his name, I just can't pronounce it very well. Sorry. But he has worked with David Lynch, maybe on all their movies, or did they start working together on Blue Velvet? Anyhow, I'm going to go into this movie and watch it like it's brand new. So that's going to be really cool to me. It's going to be like a brand new movie to me. But it's also a really nice Digipags slipcase. It's got, got some artwork on there. Opens up. Really big book. It's almost bigger than the Elephant Man book. I can feel in just thickness and weight. And it's pretty much similar, exactly same kind of thing. Blue Velvet is the same way. So I'm going to watch that. So Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me from 1992. Can't exactly highly rate it. But I'm sure it's going to be a movie I'm going to go into more and more. Just like Mulholland Drive and Blue Velvet and stuff like that. Which brings me to my last David Lynch movie. Now, I bought this one also this week, but I got this one, I didn't get it on Amazon. I found it locally at a store. They actually had it, and I saw it, and I thought, man, I've been thinking about David Lynch all week. It's a sign, so I picked it up, didn't have it. I had I think I had a VHS copy of it somewhere, and I got rid of it. But anyways, it's, trying to think exactly when this came out. Okay, 1990. 1990's Wild at Heart. This is David Lynch's wild ride of a movie. This time the actors Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern. They team up in this movie. Just such a crazy, wild movie. The VHS I had wasn't letterboxed. I can remember all the scenes being blown up and stretched, and it kind of gave it a look to it. Flames. I remember the flames lighting and the fire going up and stuff and being bent, in the corners and stuff. So it's going to be interesting watching this transfer and see how it looks, because I don't think I've watched a widescreen copy of it. And it's a 2:3:5 to 1 aspect ratio, so it's a Panavision. It's a it's widescreen. So it's gonna be interesting seeing this after all these years. Plus, it's been cleaned up. This is from Shout Factory, and this is a really interesting. It's got a flip cover, so it's got two different covers. What's interesting, you got like the more, glamorous 90s, 80s look, kind of sensual. And then you got on the inside there, you got more of a pink, light colors, and it's more of a loving photo, like showing their love and stuff. And this would mean maybe more of their meeting each other, they're a team, they love each other. But Nicolas Cage is great in this. I mean, he was still becoming Nicolas Cage at that point. I mean, 1987 he did Raising Arizona and which kind of broke him out in the mainstream and stuff. So when he teamed up with David Lynch on this was really interesting, really cool stuff. But I haven't seen this in so many years. I may have copied it. I may have burned it to DVD off of TV. Maybe that IFC or Sundance Channel or something may have showed it. But looking back at some of those discs, they're almost 15 years old. Some of them don't look so great. So this is going to be a great improvement over what I have. And this was adapted from a novel by Barry Gifford. And it's hard to say. I mean, how do I describe this movie? It's just such a wild ride, man. It's like Nicolas Cage got out of jail, got out of prison. He teamed up with. He's friends with Laura Dern's mom somehow, and he meets the daughter, and then will just team up instantly, and they just go on this wild ride. The mom's trying to kill him, and trying to do all this stuff. So, really interesting. It's really David Lynch, but it's not David Lynch like being dreamlike and stuff. It's more faster, quicker paced and stuff. So it's gonna be cool to watch this again. It's got some extra stuff on here. Now, Shout Factory's been putting out some really good stuff. They put out a lot of good John Carpenter stuff here lately. But it's got new interviews with the writer. It's got a documentary. It's got some extended interviews. David Lynch on the DVD process, which that's a carryover from the previous DVD. It's got the original on-set making of. It's got some image galleries and, of course, trailers, TV spots, and over an hour of deleted scenes also. So yeah, definitely can't wait to dig into this again. So it's been kind of a Lynch week as we begin fall. We're ending, the summer's over pretty much. Got to mow the yard one more time, but getting ready to go into fall. It's getting colder outside. You can feel that cold air. So it's time to curl up with some Lynch on the TV. So we've got The Elephant Man, Twin Peaks, and Wild at Heart. So I've got me some Lynch this week to carry me over. My previous video, I did one on Mulholland Drive, which you can find. And also I did Blue Velvet on that same video. Now I also have Dune. I have the basic, I think it's the director's cut on DVD of Dune. And I think I have something else. But I still need to get a couple movies I want to get by David Lynch. I want to get Eraserhead, of course, and I want to get Lost Highway from, I believe, 1997 that came out. Got a great soundtrack. I had the soundtrack back in the day, but I think I only saw the movie maybe 2 times and stuff. And it's another one of those fun movies, rewatchable, crazy characters, as in all of David Lynch's movies. I'm trying to think, do I have anything else by David Lynch? Elephant Man, Dune. I think that's it. That's all the David Lynch I have. Dune and my previous copy of The Elephant Man. So see, I'm still a budding Lynch fan. You know, slowly. It's like you can watch these. You know, these just this handful right here, and just you. These are highly rewatchable movies. You know, if you don't, if you're not completely weirded out by David Lynch's crazy world, then they're very rewatchable. There's still more to get. He's done some more stuff in the 2000s, like what was it, Inland Empire? He did that, and he's got some videos of short films that he did over time, and he's done a lot of cool stuff. David Lynch is a really talented man. Highly, just got he wears a lot of different hats, and I tip my hat to him. Yeah, so that's about it, guys. I just wanted to show off that new Elephant Man Criterion release. You got to get out there and see it, get it, buy it, watch it. And there you go. So David Lynch. And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more movies like this, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that you will be notified when I make a new video and release it. So I recommend you to subscribe to me. I would love that. Thank you to everyone who does subscribe. Thank you very much. I would love comments. Give some shout outs from time to time. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm going to sit down and try to dig into some David Lynch. So I will see you guys later. Watch good movies and be careful out there. Be safe.